Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Johnson, the author of Your Bright Life and the upcoming Shine Bright, which I'm so excited to announce to you soon. But for today's episode, I thought it would be fun, since I just got home from our summer abroad, to share a few things that I've learned balancing life between the US and living abroad. I get some questions about this, and I just feel like it's kind of a fun topic, and it's top of mind because every time we end up changing locations, I learn things and I see things with fresh eyes that I probably don't see when I'm in the middle of either place. So I wanted to share with you a few things that I've learned navigating life both in the US and abroad. So for those of you who don't know the background to this story, a few years ago, my husband and I set out on a journey to find a little home base in Europe. And so we drove all around Europe and we fell in love with this one super tiny town in the Mediterranean, and we ended up purchasing a home there, and we decided to split our time half between the United States, where we can see our family and spend holidays, and then half between being on the sea in the Mediterranean, where life slows down a lot, but it's just this beautiful balance that we love and enjoy, and it's definitely part of my design for what my brightest life looks like, which is what I share about in my books and obviously this podcast. And so yours may look completely different. You may be like, I would never want to split my time. I love being home, but this really just pours out of what my just happiest, most joyful life looks like. And so with that though, I learned so much. And so I want to share with you a few of the things that I've learned that I think can apply, whether your version of a bright life includes travel or just doing more of what you love, or if it's just fun to hear, like, what are you doing over there? How do you even navigate this? I thought I would do like a little Q&A breakdown as well today. So one of the biggest things and first things that I learned, I will give credit to from Marie Forleo. She's an author. She has an amazing podcast. If you've never heard of her, which you probably have, she's everywhere. She's wonderful. And she has this phrase that's everything is figure outable. So that would be the first overarching theme that I would think about if you're looking to travel or to move abroad or to a new city, or even in just your daily life. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in this experience is that everything is figure outable. You just might need to ask for some help, or find the people and resources and mentors that can help you. So for example, of course, when we began this process, we did not know everything that would be involved. We did not even know the language of where we live. I mean, I have started learning and now I'm years into lessons and things like that. But at the start, of course, we didn't know how to do a digital nomad visa, or to purchase a home in a foreign country. And so what I learned through this process is that if there's something that you don't know how to do, whether it's to write a book or start a podcast or change jobs or travel, you can always ask for help. Everything is figure outable. So for us, that looked like starting with as simple of things as like going into Facebook groups and finding expats who could connect us to resources that they had used. It looked like Googling things, and now we would have AI to help us a little bit more with ChatGPT, but we would find expat websites and things that could refer us to attorneys or lawyers who obviously had way more expertise in things. And then as we got more embedded into our community, we were able to meet other people in person, and we were able to ask locals for help and things like that really helped us navigate the process. And so that's the first big overarching thing that I would remember, no matter your situation or dream, is like everything is figure outable, but it might just not be figure outable in your own head if you've never done something. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to invest or connect with mentors who have been there and can help you. I think that was even such a lesson from my business journey. Like, I had a mentor, my entire business journey, starting out building my businesses for years and years. Anything I didn't know how to do, I would find a mentor or coach around, because you can't expect yourself to know everything. So how amazing that there are resources and people that can help you get to that next step. And the next step from there, someone else will be able to connect the dots for you on. So that's the first thing that I would think about, no matter your dream or your situation, and definitely something I've learned. Another big thing is, and I have another episode on this I can link below, but give yourself time to acclimate. So even if you have a dream come true, like for me, living in the Mediterranean part of the year is truly a dream come true that I feel grateful for every moment, but it is still a big adjustment. I learned this lesson when I moved to New York City years ago, where that was another dream that I had wanted so badly, and I finally got it. But the first day I moved there, it really hit me how differently things felt from being in a community back in Seattle where I had friends, I had family, I had grown up for years, to moving halfway across the world, I guess all the way across the country, to a city where I didn't know anyone and everything was new and everything was bigger and busier and more expensive and so much more going on, that even though my dream had come true, it took me a second to be like, I'm acclimated, like I feel good in this experience. And so I always remember that, whether it's, moving somewhere different or starting a new business or getting your first client, there's going to be a little bit of time where you just have to acclimate, even to a dream come true. And so I really try to just be gentle with myself whenever I'm in a new situation and not make the nerves wrong, and instead just have compassion and be like, of course, what you're experiencing is like some newness. Like, of course, as a nervous system, it's always trying to keep us safe, and comfort and routine is what makes it feel safe, and therefore it makes us feel safe from that. So just because you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, maybe in a new place with a new language, with new, packaging even on the groceries you need to get, or if it's a different situation where maybe you're starting a podcast and you're not used to like having your voice out there in the world and getting feedback from others, or maybe it's a social media platform, like it's okay that it's just going to take a little bit of time to acclimate, even to a dream come true. So try and remember that. That's been one of my biggest lessons between, balancing my life in two different places and loving both of them for different reasons. But whenever I get to the other one, like I just got back to the States and I'm like, oh yeah, I need a few weeks to remember what this feels like. It does feel different, and it's not wrong. It's just different. And so maybe that encourages you as well. If you made a big leap and you're like, what did I do? It might not actually have been the wrong move at all. It might just be that you got to give yourself a little bit of time to ease into things, to remember how to do things. And once you do, you'll never want to go back to the other place. Like that is something I even have to remember with my experiences. Like as soon as I do get comfortable, maybe it takes a few weeks, but as soon as I get comfortable in either location, I don't even want to go to the other one again, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun here. I've totally settled into my routine and lifestyle again. And so maybe the same is true for whatever your situation or your dream is, where you just have to remember to get over that uncomfortable starting phase. All right. The next thing that I've learned from balancing my life in two continents is this mantra I keep with me and try and believe and remember, which is the world is a safe place. I heard this from a YouTube vlogger once, and it really stood out to me because I think that's not the message that we see or receive most of the time. And rightfully so in many ways. I mean, there's so many heartbreaking tragedies going on around the world. But what I realized the more I started traveling is that all these places that on the news or the media or just the general feeling of a place being described a certain way did not always hold up. In fact, the places that I had the most hesitation around ended up becoming some of the most underrated, beautiful, heartwarming places in the entire world. And so this one time we had traveled to a place that I felt just a little bit uneasy around. I'd heard some things about, and yet, moments into being there, I found myself in this beautiful little homemade and family-run coffee shop and bakery, where this woman who ran the shop was making us this beautiful cake that she had it as an old family recipe. She's pouring us coffee. There's little twinkly lights and families playing games inside. And I just looked around and thought, I really need to check my expectations and judgments of what a place would be like, because this has happened to me so many times where I have this feeling or this fear, and then I realize that the world is a much safer place than we are led to believe if all you're doing is seeing stories from the news or the media or cultural impressions. And so for me, that's been such an encouraging feeling to keep in mind and to just put out as an energy that the world is a safe place. And yes, things happen everywhere and there are tragedies everywhere in the world. But for the most part, the people that you meet are so warm and welcoming. They're so happy to share their culture with you. Their cuisine is so amazing and fun. Their traditions are so unique and beautiful. And so I think just no matter what, I try and take that spirit with me throughout the world. That the world is a safe place. There are good humans everywhere. I have been so impressed with how willing people are to help. And that's been like an experience that we've had where we live in Europe half the year. Is like the locals have been so welcoming to us. They have invited us into their homes. They bring us their homemade olive oil and wine from their family farms. They give us the keys to their home in case we need to check on anything for them and vice versa. We genuinely do not even lock our doors most of the time when we're there, because it just is so much safer and feels that way. And so I think that that has just been a really big lesson and thing to check myself on. And maybe you'll experience that as you travel as well. But if there's something that you're scared to do or somewhere you're scared to go, it might actually feel safer than you feel in a lot of your day-to-day life. And you will most likely meet the most amazing, heartwarming people. And so I just encourage you, if there's something you're scared to do, get out there, like go have the adventure. It may be much better than you even imagined, and that's probably the odds are that it will be. So go for it. I always have this quote, it's either a good time or a good story. So it's like, you know, even if there are mishaps and things that do happen with travel and adventures and things you haven't done before, usually those are the things that you laugh about later. And again, unfortunately, there are heartbreaks everywhere and things can happen, but hopefully it just helps you to take that spirit with you of like, the world is a safe place, and you can put out the energy that you hope to get back. And I think that is the energy that's going to heal the world and our communities anyways, if we look at each other with that lens. So just an idea there. One thing I've learned, balancing life both places, is the world is a safe place, and try and bring that with you everywhere. And then of course we all do what we can to make it truly, genuinely safe all around the world, right? So, and then the last thing that I've learned is the best memories come from being present. So I don't want you to listen to this and feel like you have to like split your time between places or move around the world or travel to have worthwhile adventures. I think you can be home with your babies and have the most amazing life and stories from doing that. What I really learned, and what I think travel reminds us to do, is to be present. So I think that, I don't know, when I'm traveling, for example, one of my favorite summer memories that we do there that I treasure is like, we swim almost every day in the sea because it's crystal clear and it's just this gorgeous warm water, especially as it warms up through the summer thanks to the sun, which is like this amazing thing that nature offers us. And I will float on my back and I will look up at the sky, and I use that moment to just feel gratitude for all the goodness in my life. And I think that it's not so much the act of like having a beautiful sea to swim in that gives me that memory. It's that moment of the daily ritual of just pausing and feeling grateful for this life. And yes, I have challenges, and yes, I have things that I haven't even shared on this podcast because I'm still going through them. I hope to one day, but once I learn enough to share on the other side. But we all have those things, but I think it's the being present that makes life so worthwhile. And so while travel gives that to us, because I think it wakes us up and it takes us out of our daily routines, it's also just, how can you find those moments in your daily routines? How can it be having Cheerios with your toddler if that's what your dream and your bright life looks like? How can it be a walk in like the fall leaves that are outside right now? How can it be the phone call with your grandparent or your loved one, or just even sitting at a coffee with a girlfriend? I was trying to do this the other day where I realized that I have this mindset that's constantly wired to be like thinking of the next thing. And so I was challenging myself to just be like, I have nowhere else to be on this particular day. Let me just see, like Europe is really good at teaching you to do this, but let me just see how long this takes naturally before it wraps up. And it ended up being quite a while, but I loved that because I had never really just allowed myself to savor, like just letting things take time and just going slowly. And so I just offer that to you as well. It's been a really good reminder for me of the best memories and the things and moments of our lives that we look back on are not because they're always this novel, extraordinary thing. Can be, those are fun too, but I think it's the being present is what does it for us and what is what locks things in. And so for me, the way I do it is I just try and freeze frame like little memories throughout the day. I try and remind myself, as I said, to slow down. And no matter where I am, whether it's on the Mediterranean or whether it's now back in the US, with my niece and nephew and things like that, to just really take a picture of those moments and to be present. And that's what gives you all those beautiful memories to look back on of whatever your bright life looks like. All right, so those are the things that I'm taking with me from this last season of living abroad, which I feel so grateful for. I'm excited to get back next spring and summer, but for now, I'm really excited to be home in the States and be with family and friends. And if you live near me, hopefully we get to meet each other up at an event or anything like that soon. To make these videos for you and to launch my next book in like a month. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope this encourages you. And if you have any questions about travel or being a digital nomad or living abroad, like I'm an open book. This was all new to me, but it's definitely been like just the memories I'm so grateful for, and like one of the best adventures of my life, going for it and figuring it out, even when, trust me, it has been messy and there have been things we've really learned the hard way. But I'm happy to share more about that or make more videos and podcasts about this if it's interesting to you or serves you as well. All right, have a wonderful week and I will see you again soon.